So you may be wondering, what are the top mistakes that candidates make in their MBA admissions interviews? I would say that there are probably 3 that come to the top of mind. So the first thing is not being concise enough. So in terms of conciseness, it's really important to understand that you only have 30 to 45 minutes together with your interviewer. They'll likely have a series of questions that they expect to progress through. And if you spend too much time on questions in the earlier phases of the interview, you won't have that valuable time to answer other questions later on in the interview. Well, what does this mean? So in terms of process, your interviewer will likely have to submit a write-up to the MBA admissions committee post your conversation. If you did not sufficiently answer all of the questions, which sometimes different questions are to gauge different criteria, you will not effectively have passed the interview. So think about it this way. If there are 10 questions and you answered 4 very well, we have to think through the fact that you did not answer the other 6 needed to provide an overall comprehensively strong interview.
So I really liked working with Obinna during the mock interview process because he made me feel really comfortable, even though I was a ball of nerves. I was freaking out. And he made me feel so comfortable, and at the end gave me such specific feedback about exactly what I can and should work on versus what I've got down. Don't spend any more time on this. That sounded great. Do exactly that. And from there, I could really specify exactly what sort of follow-up work I was going to do on my own. And also, just having the opportunity to run through that in a live setting with someone just got all of those nerves out of the way.
The second thing is not being properly prepared. So you know that there are probably some common MBA interview questions that you'll get. Why X program? Why now? What are your short-term and your long-term goals? These are commonly asked questions, and you should definitely be prepared for them and have really strong, thoughtful answers to deliver to your interviewer. I find that sometimes candidates are caught off guard when they've just gone through the due diligence and the process of writing these same things in their application essay, but have a difficulty speaking to it live in the conversation.
I was really concerned about the interview, not because I don't like talking to people or I'm not good at it, but just that I felt like I have this fear that I'm going to say the wrong thing, right? Or I'm going to say the wrong school name, or I'm going to say something that's just going to totally botch both of our chances. So I was really worried about the interview. And I have to say, I remember our first interview, we had all of our interviews on the same day at these schools. And I remember after our very first one, we were so nervous. Like we could hardly eat breakfast that morning, I remember. Did the interview, we came out, and I remember we looked at each other when we got outside and we were like, we were so over-prepared for that. Like we were so grossly over-prepared. Like I felt like I could anticipate what the next question was going to be, and I felt like I was able to respond in a way that like didn't feel like I knew what was coming, but I totally knew what was coming and I could sort of play the part.
The third thing is, I would say, a conflation of different schools' offerings. What does that mean? I would say sometimes you're talking to a candidate and they're referencing a specific resource that is currently not at your school. So this can be in the form of a class, a center, an extracurricular activity, or they're correctly referring to something that does exist, but they're using incorrect terminology. It's really important that you come into this interview with a heightened sense of specificity and you're really speaking toward what is available at the program that you're being interviewed for. Sometimes it might not seem like a big thing, but making one of the mistakes in these areas, one or more of these mistakes rather, can definitely be to your detriment. So definitely make sure you're making a concerted effort to not fall into any of these 3 pitfalls.